Welcome to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. I'm Terrhonda Hillman, filling in for Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Cellmark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel is in Studio West. This is the April 22nd, 2026, 317th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information. Let's check the stories we're covering this week.
Vendors scramble as Painted Tree Boutique abruptly closes.
Early voting has begun in Mansfield.
Mansfield resident honored with state resolution for 55-hour baking marathon.
Methodist Mansfield names new chief nursing officer. Earth Day celebration returns to Mansfield this Saturday.
KemperSports to operate Mansfield Fieldhouse.
North Texas SC is on a 3-game winning streak.
And in the talk segment, Steve talks in studio with Tia Middlebrook, the granddaughter of Willie Brown. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
I'm Yulani Lashley, President and CEO of Texas Health Hospital Mansfield, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
Vendors across North Texas are racing to clear out their merchandise after Painted Tree Boutiques abruptly shut down all 6 of its area locations, including the Mansfield store. The closure, announced by email late Tuesday morning, caught hundreds of small business owners off guard. Many say they were given until April 24th to remove their inventory, though some fear the buildings could close sooner. At the Mansfield location alone, vendors estimate there were about 240 booths. For some, those booths represented their primary or only source of income. Several vendors report ongoing issues in recent months, including delayed or incorrect payments. Others say rent was collected just days before the sudden shutdown, raising concerns about outstanding balances and financial issues. The closure leaves many small business owners without a clear next step as they work to recover inventory and reassess where to sell their products moving forward.
It's election season in Mansfield. Early voting is now underway and runs through April 28th, giving residents an opportunity to cast their ballots ahead of Election Day on Saturday, May 2nd. This year's ballot in Mansfield is a short one, featuring just 2 races, both for Mansfield ISD school board seats. In place 6, Dr. Benita Reed is running unopposed. In place 7, incumbent Courtney Lackey Wilson is seeking re-election and faces challenger Michelle Gooch. Voters can cast their ballots locally at the Mansfield Subcourthouse on East Broad Street or at the Newsom Stadium, 3700 East Broad. However, keep in mind you're not limited to those 2 locations. Voters may cast their ballot at any polling location within the county they are registered. With a streamlined ballot and multiple voting options, officials say the process should be quick and convenient for those looking to make their voices heard.
A local baker is receiving statewide recognition for a record-setting effort that captured the spirit of the community. State Representative Chris Turner presented a resolution Wednesday to Mansfield resident Michelle Handley, owner of Mama Mitchie's Kitchen, honoring her 55-hour baking marathon in 2023 aimed at breaking a Guinness World Record. Handley's endurance challenge drew support from across the area, turning what began as a personal goal into a community-wide effort. In a statement shared on Facebook, Handley expressed gratitude for the recognition and credited her faith, family, friends, and the Mansfield community for helping her complete the marathon. She described the experience as a testament to perseverance, teamwork, and community spirit. The resolution highlights not only the length of the baking effort, but also the impact Handley continues to make through her work and outreach in the community. Handley was also recently honored by the Mansfield Business Alliance by receiving a 40 Under 40 award.
Methodist Mansfield Medical Center has named Melissa Winans as its new Vice President of Nursing and Chief Nursing Officer, effective last Monday. Winans brings more than 30 years of nursing experience, including more than a decade as Chief Nursing Officer in both community and academic healthcare settings. Her background includes leadership in women and infant services, critical care, stroke care, and inpatient rehabilitation. Hospital President Juan Fresquez called Winans a transformational leader who will help strengthen the medical center's commitment to nursing excellence and compassionate care for the Mansfield community. Winans holds a doctorate in nursing practice, an MBA in healthcare management, board certification as a nurse executive, and is a fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives. In a statement, Winans said she's honored to join Methodist Mansfield and looks forward to supporting nurses and care teams while advancing high-quality, patient-centered care. The City of Mansfield's annual Earth Day celebration is set for Saturday, April 25th, offering a free, family-friendly event focused on conservation and community engagement. The event runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Chris W. Burkett Service Center, hosted by the Keep Mansfield Beautiful Commission and the city's Public Works Department. Activities include a butterfly release, free tree giveaway while supplies last, and a variety of hands-on experiences for kids. Families can also enjoy fishing lessons for children 16 and under, touch-a-truck displays featuring city equipment, live music, vendors, and a petting zoo with pony rides. Additional highlights include a rain barrel silent auction and educational booths aimed at helping residents better understand environmental stewardship and sustainability. City officials say the event is designed to promote awareness of how everyday choices impact natural resources while offering an engaging outdoor experience for all ages. The event is free and open to the public.
KemperSports Venues is taking over operations at Mansfield Fieldhouse, the indoor sports and recreation facility formerly known as Fieldhouse USA Mansfield. The company announced Thursday that it has acquired the lease to run the city-owned facility, adding to its growing presence in Mansfield. KemperSports already operates fields at Station 63 for the city of Mansfield. City leaders and KemperSports say the partnership is aimed at improving the customer experience while expanding recreation and event opportunities. Mansfield Fieldhouse will host basketball, volleyball, training programs, fitness activities, and community events. KemperSports says it plans to enhance scheduling, streamline operations, and explore new offerings at the facility. The move adds Mansfield Fieldhouse to KemperSports' growing portfolio of Texas venues and continues the company's working relationship with the city. For more information, visit KemperSports.com.
North Texas SC is on a 3-game winning streak, and we'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
In sports, North Texas SC picked up their 3rd consecutive win on the road Sunday after a 2-2 draw with Timbers 2, then winning the extra point penalty shootout in Portland. Edonis scored his league-leading 6th goal of the season in the 82nd minute off an assist from Natty James, helping North Texas erase a late deficit and force the shootout. North Texas then went a perfect 5 for 5 from the spot to earn the extra point. North Texas SC head coach John Gall says forward Nice brings a fierce competitive edge and game-changing ability.
He has a really big personality. He's a really competitive kid. He wants to win all the time in training. It's life or death in training, winning and losing. He has a lot of quality, has a lot of ability. And like I told him, you're the type of kid that, is going to be the guy that can change games. And there's going to be times also in the game where you get frustrated because things don't go as well as you need them to go. Sometimes he tries to thread a few passes and they don't go his way. But he's the type of kid he's going to keep on and on and on and putting that ball in the back of the net.
Goalkeeper Eric Demora came up big again, making 5 saves in regulation, including a penalty stop, then adding another save in the shootout. It was North Texas SC's 2nd shootout win of the season. With the result, North Texas SC moves to 2 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws on the season. Up next, North Texas travels to face MNU FC2 on April 26th at Allianz Field in St. Paul, Minnesota. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Saturday, April 25th, is National Mani-Pedi Day, a perfectly legitimate excuse to sit down, soak up, and let somebody else deal with your life, one cuticle at a time. It's the one day of the year where doing absolutely nothing counts as productivity. Hands in warm water, feet getting the VIP treatment, and suddenly your biggest decision is, do I go bold or play it safe with respectable beige? A mani-pedi isn't just maintenance, it's morale. It's confidence you can literally point at. It's the subtle glow of, yes, I do have my life together, even if your inbox strongly disagrees. So go ahead, book it, gift it, or hint aggressively until someone else pays for it. Because on National Mani-Pedi Day, the only thing you should be working on is relaxing. I'd like to take a moment to thank About Mansfield for giving me this opportunity to fill in as guest host. Okay, Mansfield, let me talk to you for a second because this is not your average night out. I'm the founder of Poised Productions, and we're launching PICT, the Poised Institute of Community Theater, where, yes, regular people get to be a little dramatic on purpose. And coming up, we've got The Porch, an immersive theater gala that means you're not just sitting there looking cute. You're part of the experience. We're bringing Mansfield's history to life, the good, the hard, and everything in between. But we're doing it in a way that brings people together. So go ahead, grab your ticket, bring a friend, and come sit on the porch with us. Trust me, you don't want to hear about it later. And that will be May the 9th at the Far Best Theater, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I also want to take a moment to invite you to check out the Mansfield Military Moment with Nike Harrison, short video vignettes that are specifically for our military friends and family. Nike is an Army wife and mother of 2, and she brings periodic stories to you about military life in Mansfield. Again, it's the Mansfield Military Moment with Nike Harrison, and you can visit our About Mansfield News Talk Facebook page to see her reports.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we're talking about carotid arteries stenosis on Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
This week's cocktail isn't here to judge, it's just here to be clean, to be fresh, and surprisingly put together.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel. And this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Jay Arredondo, who was the first person to correctly answer last week's Mansfield trivia question. What was U.S. Highway 287 called prior to its name change in 1940? Jay knew it was U.S. Route 370, and he has won a $25 restaurant gift card. Looking for the weekly, highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield trivia question? You can find it at its new home on the About Mansfield Facebook page. So log on to Facebook right now and hit the About Mansfield News Talk page. As always, the first person to email the correct answer will win a $25 restaurant gift card, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance. Good luck.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
Hello, I'm City Councilman Larry Brosh, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here to talk about how knowing about carotid artery stenosis can save a life in Methodist Mansfield. News to know. Angel?
Today, we're talking about something that can change a life in a minute. And I have in the studio Dr. Flesher. Dr. Flesher, can you tell us about carotid artery stenosis and why it's important?
Absolutely. So carotid artery stenosis occurs when you get narrowing in the arteries that goes up to the brain. Normally, you have 4 arteries that go to the brain, the carotid arteries, which are in the front of the neck, and 2 vertebral arteries in the back of the neck. The main 2 arteries are the carotid arteries. And when they become stenotic, that can increase your risk of having a stroke. There are risk factors that increase your risk of getting this stenosis. The risks are being diabetes, smoking, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and heart disease. These can all increase your risk of developing carotid artery stenosis.
What are the signs of carotid arteries stenosis?
So most people are asymptomatic and actually do not have any signs. And in that case, it's important to know the screening criteria for looking for stenosis. Typically, if patients have symptoms, it's becoming more progressed, and that could be an indication that they may have a stroke in the near future.
Dr. Flesher, tell us about the screening for carotid arteries.
So the Society for Vascular Surgery recommends not to do routine screening in every patient. However, there are certain high-risk criteria in which case screening can be recommended. Typically, it's patients who are over the age of 55 who have any of those high-risk criteria. So if they have any history of diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, coronary artery disease, or any history of smoking, should be screened at least once with a carotid duplex to look for stenosis.
Now, do they go to a vascular surgeon, or do they go to primary care, or do they go to a cardiologist to get this screening? Or is it just screenings that you may hear about in the community?
So typically the screening is performed by either your primary care physician or your cardiologist. And if they find that you have stenosis, then they would refer you to the local vascular surgeon, such as myself.
When someone has carotid artery stenosis and they come to you, Dr. Flesher, what kind of procedure do you do?
So typically I start by just evaluating if the patient is having any symptoms or not, and then looking through the risk factors such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and all the ones that we listed before to make sure we've optimized all of those risk factors to minimize your risk of a stroke. There are certain indications that would lead us to cleaning out that artery called a carotid endarterectomy. Those indications would be if your stenosis is greater than 70% without having any symptoms, or if your stenosis is greater than 50% with symptoms.
How urgent is it that if you have carotid artery stenosis? Is it like immediate?
So I would say if you are having symptoms, then it is very urgent, because if you start having symptoms from carotid artery stenosis, then it is an indication that you could have a full-out stroke in the very near future. The recommendations are that once you have symptoms, the surgery should be done within 2 weeks.
So when you're saying the cleaning out of the arteries, that's a surgery?
Yes.
Well, thank you, Dr. Fletcher, for this important information. If you think you might have risk factors for carotid artery stenosis, talk to your primary care physician and get it checked out. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a drink that's clean, fresh, and surprisingly put together in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
Once a year, we all collectively decide that we care about the planet. We recycle a little harder, we say things like sustainable, and maybe we even bring our own bags to the grocery store, and then we forget them in the car. Maybe that's just me. Welcome again to the Cocktail of the Week, brought to you as always by Bourbon Gospel. I'm your lovable host, Brian Certain, and we're continuing April's theme in bloom in bourbon. But this week, we're doing something a little different. In honor of Earth Day, we're leaning into a cocktail that's lighter, more botanical, and dare I say responsible, but it's still beautiful, it's still intentional, just a little less bourbon forward. But don't worry, we'll get back at it. This week's cocktail is the Violet and Pear Sparkler. It's floral, it's crisp, and it's just sweet enough to make you feel like you made a good decision today. It's built around pear, kissed with violet, and finished with bubbles, because if you're going to be virtuous, you might as well enjoy it. How are we going to make this? 1.5 ounces of pear liqueur, 1/2 ounce of vodka, 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of sparkling water, or if you're really feeling extravagant, how about some Prosecco? And then 2 to 3 drops of a violet liqueur or creme de violette. Garnish, love edible flowers or a thin pear slice. Glassware. I'm really thinking that we need to elevate this cocktail to the statue that it deserves. And so I'm thinking a coupe or a thin stem glass. And then this one is shaken and served up with ice. How are we going to make this beautiful cocktail? We're going to add the pear liqueur, the vodka, the lemon juice, the simple syrup to a shaker with ice. We're going to shake until well chilled. Then we're going to strain into a coupe glass, but leave enough room to top with the sparkling water or the Prosecco. Add just a few drops of that violet liqueur for color and aroma. And then the garnish simply. Let the drink do the talking on this one. The mocktail version, calling the Garden Spark, is 2 ounces of pear juice, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple or honey syrup, and 3/4 of an ounce of sparkling water. Optional, dropping a couple drops of violet syrup or floral water. You're going to build this one up over ice. Either way, it's clean, it's bright, it's completely satisfying. This isn't a backup option. This is the drink. Floral liqueurs like creme de violette have been around since the early 20th century, often used in classic cocktails like the Aviation. Pear, on the other hand, has always been a quiet player. It's subtle, it's elegant, and it's often overlooked. But you put them together, You get something that feels, well, I think it feels intentional. And isn't that really the point of Earth Day? Not perfection, just awareness. Remember, you don't have to overhaul your life to make better choices. Sometimes it's smaller than that. Sometimes it's choosing fresh over processed, slowing down instead of rushing, or just enjoying something that feels clean and well made, even if tomorrow you're right back to bourbon. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey, well, that's barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's in-studio interview with Tia Middlebrook, the granddaughter of Willie Brown.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, this is Eric Nadell, the voice of the Rangers, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. In the studio today, I met her at an event, I'm going to say last week, but this podcast is being recorded on February 26th, so that it was last week from then. I was in a room full of people. It was a tremendous, great event, standing room only, and she stood up, and after she announced who she was, to me it was a chapter of Mansfield history just stood up. First of all, let's welcome Tia Middlebrook. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
And let's go back to that event. Okay, so this was an event that was held at the Mann House in Mansfield, and it was a community event to talk about a desegregation landmark that is being proposed for the Geyer Commons. After all of the presentations, you stood up. Do you remember what you said to the people in the room?
Yes, I stood up. I introduced myself, Tia Middlebrook. I'm the granddaughter of Mr. Willie E. Brown. He has an elementary school here named after him in Mansfield, and my grandfather was a big part of this whole desegregation event that evolved in 1956. He was the principal of the all-black school at the time.
And when you stood up, and you were literally standing within arm's range of where I was sitting, and I look over the granddaughter of Willie Brown,
yes,
Willie E. Brown, and I said, I've got to have her on the podcast.
Thank you.
First of all, my kids went to Willie Brown, so that's kind of he's in my heart.
Yes,
and only to find out your son went to Willie Brown.
Yes.
The great-grandson of Willie Brown went to Willie Brown Academy of Early Learners.
Yes.
We are going to get into the depths of Willie E. Brown. First of all, do you know what the E stands for?
Earl.
Earl. Willie Earl Brown.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever meet him?
No. So my grandfather, he passed in 1959, and I was born in 1975.
But the two of you came from the same area.
Yes, Tyler, Texas, East Texas.
East Texas, the home of the roses, right?
Yes, the Tyler Rose Garden. Yes.
And how much history do you know about your grandfather?
Basically, what I saw online, growing up, I've always had his obituary, and so they had one son, my father, Willie Brown Jr., and my grandmother and my grandfather, they were both teachers, so that's how they met. They met in college. They got married. They had one son. Unfortunately, they divorced, and then Granddad, he remarried, and he ended up kind of doing a number of things. He was a teacher, a preacher, a principal, and so it sounds like he was a jack of all trades.
It sounds like it. He was the principal during some pretty tumultuous times.
Yes.
That MISD, Mansfield ISD, had the white school and also had the African American, the black school. And your grandfather was the principal of what eventually became the school of his namesake.
Yes.
What does that mean to you as the granddaughter to learn about his legacy?
It's very historical, overwhelming, just a lot of emotions going on. Happy, sad that he couldn't see what's happening now. Sad that my father couldn't see what's happening now because my father, he knew nothing of the school. And he passed away in 2002, and the school, I think, was established, I want to say maybe 1998. I would have to go back and double check. So I just found this basically by my own research in 2014.
And why did you start the research in the first place?
So I ended up joining the military in 1993, and I stayed for 24 years, and I knew I was going to be returning back to Texas, to my home state. And so, when you're away, you come back for a week or so, and then you go back to your regular activities. So I said, I really need to find out more about my paternal grandfather, that side of my dad's side of the family. I know about my grandmother's side, but not much about the Willie E. Brown Sr. side. And so I was looking online, and I came across a school, and I'm like, okay. And so then I looked at the history and facts, and there was a picture. And oh my God, it's the same picture that I have on the one picture that I have of my grandfather. It's his obituary.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't believe it. I reached out to my sister. So it's my sister Vicky and I. We're the only two granddaughters, only two grandchildren.
Okay.
I reached out to her. She was wild. She was ecstatic. And so I reached out to her. I contacted the school. And at the time, it was Principal Eastlick. And I contacted her, and I said, has anybody ever came forth, any family? Because I knew of none except Vicky and I. And she was like, no. And so Vicky, she ended up booking a trip, arranging a trip, and she came and toured the school. My sister Vicky and my niece Olivia.
And where was Vicky living at the time?
They live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so she came out
Willie Brown
to
elementary. Yes.
Did they give you any type of reception or what?
No, we were welcome. Well, when I was able to come, which was, I believe, was it the following year? I think with my military schedule, I really wasn't able to come until the summertime to bring the children. So I think by the time we actually were able to visit the school, it was around, my children were able to visit, because we were able to visit, just see from the outside looking in, but actually able to visit with students there, because my kids are in school, and we don't really take our kids out of school when we travel. We try and just travel during the summertime.
Sure.
So when we were able to visit the school, it's when Trevin was actually there to attend the school in 2017. And so it was announced on the intercom to all hands, and all the staff, they came by, they greeted us. So, yes, we were welcome.
So Trevin, your son.
Yes.
Okay, great-grandson.
Great-grandson.
Was there any impact on him? Did he realize that he was going to the school of his great-grandfather's namesake?
Yes, and he was so excited. It was like he was a little celebrity at the school, so he really enjoyed it. And he went there his third and fourth grade, because they go up to the fourth grade. And then he graduated.
And where is he now?
There. Right now, he's at Lake Ridge High School, and he's a junior.
Okay. Very good. And so he still carries that memory
yes.
of having attended Willie Brown. I never met my great-grandfather. I barely knew my grandfather. And so for him to go to a school that knowing that had to have been special.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is my family, this is my legacy, this is my history.
Mm-hmm. Did he do well?
He did great, yes.
So your memory of your grandfather, Willie Brown, since you did not know him, did you, and you didn't start getting into his history until after your father was passed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So my grandmother, she passed when I was 1. And so I don't have any history of my grandmother. You know, I do have pictures with her in obituary as well. Mm-hmm. And then with my grandfather, we don't have any pictures of him, just the obituary picture. And so I don't know. I guess during that time, they really didn't talk much about past.
Yeah.
You know, they just really didn't talk much about it. Our dad didn't. He always spoke about us and the grandchildren.
Even though he passed before you were born, you never met him. And you started researching him after your father was passed. Where did you turn to find out what type of a person he was or the history of Willie Brown?
Well, what happened once we relocated here, I contacted the school, and I also was able to find out where the church was, which is Bethlehem Baptist Church. So with that, we were able to have a meeting with Reverend Evans.
Our mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Our mayor as well.
Yeah.
And he gave me a little history, and also I found out about Miss Brenda Norwood.
The Brenda Norwood.
Brenda Norwood.
Who also has a school named after her.
Yes. And so I call her Aunt Brenda. So I was able to meet with her and ask her, like, how was my grandfather as a person? She's the only living person that could tell me at that time, how was he? She was like, he was quiet, he was stern, and like a father figure to her.
Okay.
So that was very inspirational to know.
What else did you learn from Brenda? Aunt Brenda.
She basically talked to me about how it was during that time, you know, with the desegregation.
Yeah.
Yeah. How hard it was growing up in Mansfield for them.
She was part of the first class that attended the high school, Mansfield High School, 10 years after desegregation was supposed to happen at the high school. And so that would have been in the mid-60s.
Yes, sir.
Right. Your grandfather would have already passed when he passed in 59, but he was here in Mansfield in 56. And do you know how deep he was into the desegregation issue?
All I know is that he was a voice for the community, one of the voices for the community.
Standing up for trying to get the students into high school.
Yes, sir. Being a voice for them and wanting to see, you know, children of all races come together.
Between you and your sister, do you ever reflect back on your grandfather and the legacy that he's left in this town?
Yes, we do.
And an example of some of the conversations you've had with your sister?
Just talking about how we wish that we were able to meet him. We wish that he was able to see, like, his family, because his bio, to his knowledge, stops with his son. And his son was a child when he passed away. He was a young man. And so we just wish that he would be able to see all the love that he has here in the community and the legacy that he left behind.
Do you feel that Willie Brown Sr. shaped the man that Willie Brown Jr. was, your father?
I think so.
What were some of the traits that your father had that you suspect that maybe Willie Brown, the Willie Brown that we're talking about, what were some of the traits that your dad had that you think were passed down from Willie Brown?
So our father, he was also a teacher at one time. He was a music teacher, and so he was very quiet but stern. And so during the summertime, when I would want to play, he was always into the books, and, you know, he was all about history and Black history. And I would say to myself, I just want to play. But, you know, I feel like my granddad had some part of that. He wanted to make sure that I knew my history.
If Willie Brown Sr. were sitting in Mansfield today, having seen and lived through the tumultuous 50s and 60s, what do you think he would be going through his mind today?
I feel like he would be proud of all the hard work, proud of the struggle, the blood, sweat, and tears. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think he would be very proud.
And the kids that are attending Willie Brown Academy of Early Learners, what message do you think your grandfather would give to them?
Never give up. No matter what, never give up. Whatever you set your mind to, keep pressing.
If your grandfather were here today and you were able to be face-to-face with Willie Brown, what questions would you ask him?
Oh, so many questions. Like, how was life like as a child? How was his parents? Does he have any siblings? I mean, it's so many unanswered questions that we have. But I know, like, what he set out to do, all his hard work and sacrifice during that time, it paid off. And I know he would be so proud. So proud of, because mainly his students were his children. You know, he had one child, but all his students and stuff, those were his children as well. That was his family. He stood up and he was there for those who did not have, you know, a father figure at the time. And so I know he would be proud to see his own flesh and blood as well. And so I feel like we've made him proud. He would be proud of us as well.
How many years in the service?
I was in the Navy for 24 years.
24 years?
Yes, sir.
That granddaughter Tia is a success.
Navy Chief, Navy Pride.
There you go. And thank you for your service in the military. Thank you for fighting for our liberties, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Granddaughter of Willie Brown. Tia Middlebrook is our guest. And is there anything that you would like to share? If usually the way I phrase the question is there a question that you were expecting me to ask that I didn't ask? And what would be the answer to that question?
No, just at the end, I do have a few words that I would like to share.
Absolutely. The mic is all yours.
And I would just like to say a few words on behalf of the Willie E. Brown family. We want to say thank you to the Desegregation Landmark Committee, Mayor Michael Evans, the City of Mansfield, Texas, and all other partnerships are part of the Desegregation Landmark Project. And I especially want to thank you for hearing me out, hearing my voice. We are deeply grateful for your hard work and long hours of strategic planning. Your vision will soon be a reality for others to experience with the Desegregation Landmark. It will make a lasting impact for future generations. We appreciate all the time and effort each and every one of you have devoted to make this landmark possible. Thank you.
Tia Middlebrook, I appreciate your time and giving us a little more insight on your grandfather, Willie Brown.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thank you.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, Steve talks with Dr. Nicholas Michaels, author of Rich by Choice. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and easy. Head on over to aboutmansfield.com and enter your email address on the homepage. We will never send you any spam, we promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts, Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Terrhonda Hillman, and this is About Mansfield.